Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and welcome to a video that honestly, it hasn't been easy to make because there are so many things to talk about. Around last week, Kingzile hooked me up with a teaser so that I could show you guys the new Beast Moon maps, and especially because it's a pretty big part of how PvP matchmaking is going to work. It was a really awesome video. I'm really happy with how that video came out. But since then, they have been giving out teasers to a bunch of other fan sites, and I thought today I would try to talk about what we know about 3 other teasers that have come out since then. I don't think this video really needs any further introduction. I will say this isn't complete information. This is specifically information that Kingzile, I guess, wants us to know. So what I would really bet is that this is like more a part of an incomplete picture. In fact, I think that from what I can already tell, these updates are gonna make for a really good spring test run, but I think there's more. Teaser number 1 that I want to talk about, and this one is a really big one. It looks like pet training is gonna change to the point where it's not even gonna be the way it used to be. Now, this is actually not from any website, not from any like fan sites. It's actually from KI Live itself, and this was like something that they barely talked about. But you know, your boy was there. I took some notes. I got my sauce journal. I got notebooks. You know. So looks like when it comes to pet training specifically, it seems to be getting an overhaul. So right now, right, if you wanted to like, let's say you wanted to do pet training, right? What a lot of people will do is that you can either choose to do a pet game for the 4XP, or you choose not to and just intentionally fail a game to just feed a snack. Now, obviously, there's benefits to both. If you have a ton of mega snacks, you know, snacks that give like 40 to 50 XP, the 4 experience that you get from doing a really long game like this doesn't really add up. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's say I were to play this right now. If I were to do this pet training game, right, it would take, even with the utmost skill and steez like what I am displaying because of my ultra instinct, it would still take an extremely long amount of time before I even get the 4 XP. I mean, just look at everything that we need to go through just to get the 4 XP. So what KI Live seem to be saying is that that's going to be changing so that it's no longer like that whatsoever. My man's that airtime though, Nani! So this took me about a minute, right? That took me about a minute 15. It takes a very long time to do this. So instead of this system, where it's basically just, I don't know, it's very time consuming. Once you do that, right? Once you do what I just did 25 times, to give you just an example of how it applied to Way of the Ninja Pig, what will happen is when you go here, what they hinted at is that you'll have the option just to directly feed your pet from this pet game. As in, you don't need to do the pet game at all to basically have the ability to feed pets. Now, they weren't that clear about whether you get the XP from the pet game or not. So, like, in a perfect world, after doing this game 25 times, I think it would be really nice, like, especially during double pet XP. Let's say you wanted, I don't know, strength and will, right? I don't know if you clicked on it, would you just get 4 strength, 4 will, and then you also have the option of feeding a pet? Or if you just get to skip this game and get to feed your pet? I have a feeling that you do get the XP from the game because they're trying to apply it to every game. And if you can really apply it to every game, I don't really see, you know, what's the point of even doing it? Doing a different game if it's going to be 0 for each one. Does that make sense? I think it kind of makes sense. Basically, pet training mastery is something that's coming to the game. After you do any one game 25 times, you'll be able to directly feed a pet. I think that's way less time consuming. If anything, you'll be able to make pets during double pet XP from baby to mega with mega snacks. You could probably do it in 5 to 10 minutes instead of 20 to 30 minutes. Now, the next big teaser update kind of thing that's coming, and this is also really interesting, but it's no PvP, which is honestly, I think I wish it could be kind of considered for that. Now, you all have heard, I'm sure, of Maycasts. Well, what they're trying to bring into the game are Willcasts. The idea is use a completely new stat called Happiness. And basically this happiness stat, as you can see from this teaser video on the Sword Roll blog, link to that in the description, make sure to show that support. As you can see, what happens here is that when you click on the spell, you can click on an enemy, and then you can do your own thing, and after your own moves, it looks like your pet, with your will cast ability, basically does its own thing. And I think that's really cool, especially because it uses blades and traps and everything. I'm wondering exactly how it could be used, because it looks like it doesn't require pips, it requires happiness. Now, obviously, I know that with PvP, you want to really lessen the amount of RNG. I do think that in turn-based PvP, I feel like if both players get a chance to go first, the idea of a non-RNG kind of thing, where, you know, you can use limited resources to do multiple things in one turn, I don't think that's actually that crazy, as long as you're smart about what you put as a will cast. Now in the video, all you really see as a will cast is a 65 damage hit. That's not really going to change anything, especially considering you can't even blade during that round because it'll take the blade. And why would you use a blade on a 65 damage hit, right? So I honestly think right now it seems like there's no PvP. But I would encourage that as we test in test ROM and stuff, especially with this, to give suggestions on how you could roll this out into PvP, especially in a turn-based system. I think it would be really cool, and honestly, it would add a whole new element of strategy that goes well beyond just, you know, shads, well beyond going first, well beyond just, you know, spamming whatever hit does the most damage. This seems like it could be like, you know, like, I don't know, like a shield breaker or some kind of utility. There's utility to it, which again, I'm not really totally on board with just rolling it immediately out to PvP, but I am on board to explore how it might affect it. It's cool. Basically, the ability to do more than one thing in the same turn without it being completely random. That's a really good direction, especially from the context of PvP. If you minimize randomness and add more options that are controllable by the player, I can guarantee you it will always result in something more enjoyable. You feel like you have more control over your match. You can be creative. It adds a little bit of diversity to your strategies. That's a really good direction, and I really, really hope, especially with this new happiness stat and everything, I hope they go more and more towards will casts compared to make casts. I think make casts are great, and I think they're rewarding when you get them. And I think some make casts, especially those that have a high cast rate, I honestly don't even have a huge problem with. I think there are some make casts, unfortunately, that just add so much RNG to the game that they're just weird, like make cast healing current. I think there is something to be said about making things less random. I just want to know if they were to roll it down to PvP, not saying they have to, is there a way to do it in a way that still makes things competitive? It's a really important question more than anything right now, and I would love to hear y'all's opinions on it. Would you like to have will casts in PvP? And if not, why? Because I can see both sides of the argument. The third teaser is the one I think I might actually be the most excited about. All of these are super exciting, but let's get right into it. So the last thing that we're actually going to talk about today are item set bonuses, and this actually dropped just today. Now this is from an article on the Final Bastion. Once again, just like the Sword Roll blog, I'm going to link it in the description. Make sure to show that love. They do a lot of PvP stuff, so I'm sure a lot of you guys would love it. But basically, this is a really, really cool concept. Lots of other MMORPGs have it. Basically, there is the idea that if you have multiple bits of one certain set, you can earn benefits from doing that. So basically, right, the example that's in the article is Dragoons. So let's say I had this one piece of Dragoons. I had this piece of Dragoons. I had this piece of Dragoons. I had this piece of Dragoons. As you add more and more Dragoons pieces, so let's say theoretically, right now, the most I can personally get is 5 because I've only made 5, right? Basically, by wearing 5 out of the 7 possible things from the Dragoons, right, you would get a bonus. Now, the bonuses that we saw for, let's say you literally went crazy and just put 7 of them on, it's a really, really cool bonus. You get 3% damage, you get 101 extra block, and you get 25% stun resist. Now, these aren't, like, game-breaking, but I do think some people would appreciate the extra block, for sure. That could just save your game. And 2, sometimes that extra damage can save your game. Sometimes that extra stun resist, especially if you don't pull a stun block, that can save your game. Now, what I really, really like about this is that it's a very rare thing that one full set has all the good stats that you need. Like, for example, right, if you're looking at this right now, if I wear the full Dragoons, what you'll notice right away is that, 1, my damage is quite a bit lower than I would want it. 2, my resist is kind of low. My accuracy is very low. Even my pip chance, it's not even at 100. So it would be really, really cool to actually account for some of these small differences by giving you extra stats. Now, some of the extra stats that I thought were interesting were pip conserve. There was, if you wear 5, you actually get 12% extra pip chance, which is like a crazy amount. Because if I had 12% extra pip chance, then I would literally just unsocket a pip opal, put accuracy, and for the first time ever, the full Dragoon set could actually give you full pip chance and full accuracy. it would be an understatement to say that this is going to change PvP. This has, like, depending on what item set bonuses they have, and the only examples we've been given so far is on the universal set, right? That's the example that you saw on the screen. Depending on what those benefits are, this could make way for a total, like, new era of strategy, especially when it comes to visionary PvP. I think it's going to be really cool to see. Maybe there's going to be new sets of stats that are the best. And honestly, for a spring update, that's really good. It gives another addition of variety. So, what we're going to see, basically, are gear sets with more diversity, pets with more diversity, and pets that are easier to make with more diversity. So basically, what I really like about this is that as a PvPer, I see all of these updates making it easier for me to PvP and making PvP more interesting. But more importantly, what I see is KingsIsle is doing something that an MMORPG really needs. Each one of your characters could have some level of individuality to it. You know, there's no best myth strategy. There's no best balanced strategy. It could very well be that with this individualization, there could be people who create completely unique strategies specifically off of their specific will cast, specifically because of their specific item bonuses, and specifically because of the ease at which new pets are going to be able to be made now. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is as much as I know, so if it seems a little vague, it's because it's intentional. You know, they're trying to build up the hype. I can appreciate it. Make sure you show the support to all the places I got these articles from. I was only one of the many people who got teasers from KingsIsle, so check all of them out. As always, drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a sub if you're new. There's tons of links in the description, including my Twitch, my Twitter, my Discord, my Instagram, and my Patreon. Thank you for all the monthly support on Patreon. Y'all make it possible to do what I do. And as always, if somebody is not told they're awesome today, they doing something wrong, so stay awesome. Leave your opinions in the comments. I'd love to read them. And yeah.